It's in the insurance company's best interest that you're either not liable at all, you were not negligent, right? Or you were
something else
so liable that it's not covered.
Right.
Right? The in between is when they have to pay. So if you think about, if you think about criminal context, even though this has nothing to do with criminal law, right? But in the criminal context, we all know not guilty and guilty.
Right.
Right. And so, negligent is neither guilty or not guilty in this sense. It's in between.
Right.
Right. So not guilty is you didn't do anything wrong. So they love the not guilty verdict for the insurance defense. And they love the guilty verdict for the insurance defense because then they're like, oh, we paid for insurance defense, but we don't have to actually cover the damages. Right. So it's the sweet spot in the middle, the strike zone, that you as the business owner want to be in. You want to be in the negligence zone.
But, and this is not to make any assumptions about anybody, you've got the insurance company who have the insurance company's lawyers defending you. They know what the strike zone is and they know what these two sweet spots are for them. I know we're not making any accusations, but there is an inherent incentive there.
It's an incentive. So the lawyers that represent you are technically not supposed to be the insurance companies.
Okay, so they're just hired and got it.
They're hired and they report back to the insurance company on what they're spending, right?
So there's a separation of church and state there.
There should be a separation of church and state, and you would expect there to be a separation of church and state. But, and I don't, again, not throwing anybody under the bus, but there's a lot of law firms that work with the same insurance company over and over again. They get the same business from the same insurance company, and they have a long-term business deal, so to speak, with this insurance company, right?
Right.
And so they're incentivized. I'm not saying it's a conflict. I'm not saying anybody's doing anything untoward, right?
Right.
But they're incentivized to
But I think we get it
for the insurance company.
Right. And I think if we, without, making any accusations in any one way or another, what you can think about now is what I think you were alluding to before is having your own attorney that's reviewing everything, right? And getting that second opinion and making sure that the defense that we're using, the arguments we're using, the data that we're using are all pointing in a direction that's going to ideally hit you in that strike zone that you described, and not put you in a position where you're not going to get coverage.